I never imagined a hospital corridor could feel like the front line of a war. But that night every footstep weighed 1,000 pounds. My name is Ryan. I'm 34, and I just spent 6 days in Seattle for work. Normal stuff. Conference rooms, bad hotel coffee, and nightly video calls with my wife Sarah, who was 9 months pregnant with our first baby. We've been married 4 years. Not a fairy tale, but real, comfortable, reliable, the kind of relationship you lean on without thinking twice. Every night on those calls she'd cradle her belly and laugh. Just get home before this kid makes his grand entrance, okay? I'd promise I would. I always kept my promises. On the flight back I kept picturing it. Walking into the room, grabbing her hand, hearing that first cry, finally feeling like every piece of my life clicked into place. I had no idea it would all collapse before I even made it to her side. It was just past midnight when I bolted through the automatic doors of St. Luke's Hospital. The place smelled like bleach and fear. My roller bag rattled behind me way too loud in the silent lobby. The nurse at the desk glanced up with a tired smile. "Can I help you?" "My wife, Sarah Bennett. She was admitted earlier. Labor." She tapped a few keys, nodded and pointed. "Room 408. She's in active labor." "You're cutting it close, Dad." Cutting it close. Those words would burn into my brain later. I practically ran down the hall, heart slamming against my ribs, hands slick with sweat. Sarah's last text from 3 hours earlier kept flashing in my mind. "Come home fast. I need you so much." No panic, just that soft, familiar warmth I'd known for years. I shoved open the door to room 408 without knocking, already grinning, ready to say sorry for being late and kiss her sweaty forehead. Then I stopped dead. 3 people were in the room. Sarah, pale and exhausted, hair stuck to her face, breathing hard on the bed. A doctor checking the monitors. And right next to her, holding her hand like it was the most natural thing in the world, a guy I'd never seen before. Not hospital staff, not family. Just some tall, dark-haired man in his late 30s, gripping my wife's fingers like he had every right. For a second nobody saw me. I stood there clutching my suitcase handle so hard my knuckles went white. Then Sarah turned her head. Her eyes locked on mine. It wasn't relief. It wasn't happiness. It looked a lot like terror. "Ryan," she breathed. The guy turned too. He didn't drop her hand. "Who are you?" he asked, frowning like I was the one out of place. I blinked. "Who am I?" "I'm her husband." "Who the hell are you?" Everything changed in a heartbeat. Sarah's breath caught. The doctor stepped back awkwardly. The stranger finally let go of her hand, but he didn't back off. He stood there like he belonged. "I'm Ethan," he said. "Sarah's friend." Friend. The word tasted like acid. I stared at my wife, waiting, begging for her to fix this, to give me anything that made sense. She wouldn't look at me. "Ryan," she whispered again. "Please stay calm." Calm. My voice cracked. "I'm gone 6 days. 6 days. And I come home to another man holding your hand while you're in labor. Tell me what's happening, Sarah." The doctor tried to speak. "Maybe we should." Ethan cut in, calm and quiet, like he was the reasonable one. "I'm here because I need to be here." Then he looked straight at me and said, "Because I'm the baby's father." The words didn't explode. They seeped in slow, cold, and lethal. I stared at him. For a second I was sure I'd heard wrong. Jet lag. Stress. Anything. But his face didn't flinch. And Sarah still wouldn't meet my eyes. My throat closed. "What did you just say?" He repeated it softer this time. "I'm the father." The monitors beeped louder. The lights felt too bright. My pulse thudded in my ears like a drum. I looked at the woman I'd loved through every fight, every weird mood these past months, every tear when the pregnancy tests kept coming back negative. She finally lifted her eyes to mine. For the first time in 8 years together, I had no idea who I was looking at. "Sarah," I said, barely a sound. "Tell me he's lying." Her mouth trembled. "Ryan, I'm so sorry." It felt like the floor dropped out from under me. My suitcase crashed over, the sound sharp against the tile. The doctor tried again. "Sir, she's in active labor. Stress isn't good for her or the baby." But I couldn't hear him. "When?" My voice shook. "When did this happen?" "We tried for over a year. You cried in my arms every month. It didn't work. You said you wanted this with me." "I know," she sobbed. "I know. It was one mistake months ago. I was going to tell you, but then I found out I was pregnant and I panicked and I didn't know how. So you lied to me. For 9 months. She nodded, tears rolling. I felt my knees buckle. Nothing, no fight, no disappointment, no worst-case scenario I'd ever imagined, had prepared me for this. Ethan shifted his weight. Look, man, I didn't come here to start trouble. I came because Sarah asked me to. That cut deepest of all. She asked him. Not me. Ryan, she reached out, hand shaking in the air. Please don't go. I don't want you to leave. I stared at her open hand and didn't take it. Why would you want me here now? To watch you have another man's baby. Her face crumpled. Because you still matter to me. Because I never meant for any of this. Because you've been my whole world for years. I cut her off, not loud, just tired. I don't need any more explanations right now. For the first time since I walked in, something settled over me. Not rage. Not tears. Just cold, clear certainty. The doctor spoke again, urgent. We need to know who's staying. Delivery is moving fast. I looked at Sarah one last time. Guilt, panic, regret. Maybe even love was written all over her face. None of it changed the truth. The baby wasn't mine. I let out a slow breath. Sarah, I'm not staying. Her whole face shattered. Ryan, please. No, my voice was steady. Too steady. You made your choice a long time ago. I'm just catching up. Ethan looked at the floor. I picked up my suitcase, straightened my shoulders, and said the only thing left that felt honest. I hope the baby's healthy. And I hope everything goes smoothly for you. Tears poured down her cheeks. Ryan, please don't walk out like this. But there was nothing left to say. I opened the door, stepped into the hallway, and pulled it closed behind me with a soft click. The corridor felt colder on the way out. My footsteps echoed slow, even final. By the time I reached the lobby, my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah's sister, Mia. Ryan, call me when you can. You deserve to know the whole story. Part of me wanted to delete it. Part of me was too broken and furious to care anymore. But one thing was crystal clear as I pushed through the doors into the night. My marriage was over long before I ever walked into that room. I just hadn't known it until tonight.